Thank you, sir, for that. Truly spoken with true passion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you notice the link on the slide up here, please do visit that website and you may post your questions for the Q&A session that will be available next. To enlighten us on the current and future airport operations, I now call upon Mr. Eshan Veerasinghe, Manager, Airport Services, Sri Lankan Airlines.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It is who can best manage the change. A quote from the greatest biologist, Charles Darwin. I may repeat the quote. To survive, we have to change. So, right now we are in the era that we need to change our existing practices. With that background, I will go to my topic today, post-COVID-19 passenger experience at airports. So I would say, you will never experience the same experience you felt before March 2020 again in the future. There will be a lot of changes in all the airports around the world. When it comes to Sri Lanka, the airport operations, ground operations are governed by Civil Aviation Guidelines, and Civil Aviation Authority Sri Lanka has issued GD 010 on 11th May, giving an outline of the guidelines to be followed in this COVID-19 pandemic situation for us to follow. These guidelines give basic boundaries about risk assessment, personal protective equipment usage, guidelines to be followed by the passengers. So, shall we go and see what those changes and guidelines? When the airport is opened up, when you will have a chance to go to the airport, the first contact will be the disinfection. All passengers, baggage, staff, everybody will be disinfected at the entrance of the airport. The first photo shows the person who is disinfecting, and he will be using disinfect, chlorine-based disinfectant. Then you will be moved to the entrance where the temperature, your body temperature will be checked. Then only you are allowed to go into the airport. The second photo shows the body temperature check, but this is very familiar even if you go to a supermarket. Now it is a common thing. Then once you cross the security screening, then there will be thermal screening of the passengers. The last photo shows that thermal screening process. So that's the initial boundary where whoever comes into the airport, these measures will make sure that they are COVID-free people who will come into the airport. Then about this risk assessments. There are two main risk assessments. One is for the airport operation, one is for the flight operation. When it comes to airport operation, any airport that caters for a flight which comes from a highly impacted country, for example, any country with over 5,000 confirmed COVID-19 cases, will be treated as high-risk airport. Accordingly, Bandaranaike International Airport, Kattunayake is a high risk category. Yeah. Then about the flights. Any flight, the flight risk assessment will be based on three major factors: origin, confirmed COVID cases, duration of the flight, passenger load factor. So, with our experience, we see that majority of our flights coming into Sri Lanka will be high risk flights because most of them originate from a country where the confirmed cases are more than 100, flight duration is above 4 hours, and what we used to have is the seat factor is above 75%. So majority of the flights will be high risk, but things can be changed. So whatever the safety measures, everything will be based on this risk assessment of the flight and the risk assessment of the airport. Then about usage of personal protective equipment. Civil Aviation Authority has given a basic guideline based on WHO guidelines. What are the recommended PPEs to be used by different categories of staff working at the airport? This is the demonstration of what is being used at the checking agents level, but it will be different to what is used by ramp loaders or aircraft cleaners. So each staff category will be given different sets of personal protective equipment based on the exposure they are into this virus. Then, in the terminal building, there will be posters, guidelines for the passengers to follow the social distance, and even the seating areas will be marked where to sit, where not to sit. The queuing areas will be marked where to stand, and sanitizers will be available in various locations. The posters, the guidelines will be displayed to be followed by passengers and also by the staff at the airport. At the checking counters or immigration counters, transfer desk, gate, the counter at the gate, everywhere there will be protective transparent screens. So you will not, the passengers will not directly exposed to the staff, or the staff will not directly exposed to the passengers. By that means we have increased the safety level. And floor marking is there to maintain the distance between the passengers, so that social distance is maintained, reducing the risk. Then about the launch operation. A la carte menu will be served at the launch, but no buffet, no spa services, no liquor will be served at the launch. Even the launch seating arrangement, tables and everything will be it is already rearranged to make sure the social distance is maintained. Similar to this, there will be in the boarding gates also, the seating arrangements will be with the social distance. Even the passenger boarding will commence by row-wise boarding. That means that the boarding agent will announce what are the rows that we are going to board next, so that those passengers will only get into the aero bridge and move towards the aircraft, so that we will aero bridge will also not be crowded. We will maintain the social distance for the safety. Okay. Since we are not very clear about when we are going to open the airport next for the passenger commercial operations, whatever the current practices are not the final SOPs declared by the relevant authority. But here what I am presenting is what we do practice right now. Right now we get repatriation flights from various countries, and when they arrive, this is the practice we do. We will disinfect the baggage and the passengers at the aircraft site or at the apron itself before they get into the terminal. After that only they will be allowed into terminal building to go through the arrival procedures, that means customs, immigration and health declaration. After that they will be handed over to this quarantine process. Right now that is the process practice, but once the airport will be open for commercial flights operation, things will be changed. Even right now there are some management teams discussions going on. What is the practices to be done for opening up this airport. This slide shows Sri Lanka to America. Then United Kingdom. There are no health requirements stated, but an online detailed form need to be filled by all passengers who are willing to go into UK. And those passengers will be self-isolation for 14 days once they reach into UK. So that's the available guideline as of today. Then Bangladesh suspended commercial flights. Bangkok again suspended. UAE, Dubai will be opened up, but whoever wishes to go into Dubai will need a COVID-free certificate. That means they should go through the PCR test, and the negative certificate should be there, which is valid for 96 hours prior to the arrival at Dubai. So that's the requirement for Dubai. Again, Qatar is closed. Then we do operate Narita flights, but Japan has not issued visa for Sri Lankans after 2nd April. So there's a very little chance for Sri Lankans to enter into Japan, but we operate flights into Japan so that we get transit passengers from Japan to South Korea, likewise. Then China, again, we do operate some flights. There's a requirement of web application installed to the passenger cell phones and update those personal information into that site. That requirement is there. This will be a summary of the stations that we go in. But even this information will be changed depending on the current status of COVID on those countries and the status of Sri Lanka, because now we are experiencing the second wave of COVID in Sri Lanka, so some countries may restrict passengers from Sri Lanka into those countries because of the situation in Sri Lanka. Then the way forward of aviation industry as a whole. International Civil Aviation Organization has forecasted about 50% or little more than 50% drop of passenger travel all over the world. Accordingly, the airlines will offer about 50% reduced seats, and number-wise, there will be about 2,500 million reduction in passengers in air travel. So, the passenger travel demand in the world is reducing, and right now there's no forecast of increase in trend. Having said that, we will go into the strategies that Sri Lankan Airlines has taken to face this challenge. You know that so far Sri Lankan was a passenger airline having 26 plus aircraft on passenger operation. But with this change, our management happened to rethink about our business model, and instead of laying our aircraft on ground for longer period, our management went into new businesses like cargo operations, even in the passenger cabin. The yellow color photo shows that the loaders loading the medical supplies boxes into passenger seats, which is covered by protective polythene. This is that we loaded cargo, general cargo, into passenger cabin and operated the aircraft as a cargo aircraft. Then the management saw that this is a good business opportunity, and we have converted one of our aircrafts, namely for Alpha Lima Sierra, into a fully cargo aircraft. This modification done in-house, where we removed all the seats of the passenger cabin and installed the pallets into the passenger cabin so that we can stack more cargo into the passenger cabin. Now it will be operated as a freighter aircraft under the marketing name of Sri Lankan Cargo Operations. Other than this scheduled passenger operation, our management is looking for opportunities for charter passenger operations as well. Then, as most of the other organizations, Sri Lankan is also looking for right sizing of our resources, staff and the equipment, aircrafts. And we will be looking to some new destinations, and our existing destinations also may be relooked at. You will not see 3 flights per day for Singapore once the airport is opened up. There will be reduction, and gradually we will increase the passenger flights based on the demand. So that's it about Sri Lankan and about the aviation industry. Right. Thank you.